Hello, everybody. It is your professor, Rocco, your boy, coming at you again, once again, with another Age of Sigmar video. This time, it's a tournament recap. I went to the Atlantic City Open. I had a really fun time. Parts of it a little bit stressful, but that was mostly the getting there, because travel was a pain. I was coming out of DC. There was a huge storm that made my train like 3 hours late. But once we got up to New Jersey, we got to go and hang out with my roommate for the weekend, good friend of mine, Jack from Rerolling Ones. Because that's right, folks. I'm also their community manager for their Discord. So if you ever want to find out any like tips or tricks or anything, I'm gonna put a link to their Discord down below. And you can come hit me up there because I'll be teaching lessons and helping people and helping build their Discord and their community up. But let's also get to the tournament because that's what we're here for. We're here for that result. Now, if you remember in my last video, 3-2 was the dream. It was the goal. I was bringing my cities of Sigmar, my beloved living city, that I used in my last tournament I went to where I got third place. And it's been over a year since I played them in person. A lot of TTS games, a lot of practice, but the meta shifted a lot in cities. Their stock's gone down a little bit, so I was like, all right, there's probably gonna be a lot of Lumineth Realm Lords, Daughters of Cain, Seraphon. Yeah, they were there. IDK2, all the meta picks were there. There were people running all kinds of builds. Unless you're Daughters of Cain, I think 4 of them ran the same thing, and one person ran Hagnar, which was the Hagnar one was awesome. Again, we're like 3-2's the dream. We're feeling good, and let's get into the tournament now because I got my little black book here with all my all my lovely notes, and let's begin, shall we? So the first day on Saturday, all the games were in Shaman. So it's the Realm of Metal, currently in the end of 2.0 here. So, all the terrain is -2 to run and charge rolls. The Realm spell is +1 to your armor save. The command ability is when you pick a unit that made a charge, they get +1 to hit. Really nice. I actually just played a Whisper Engine campaign from the GHB for a few months that just wrapped up a little while ago because I'm a narrative gamer. With some buddies of mine. So I'm like, okay, Shaman, I'm feeling good. Living City, we'll put my list in the description as well. I was confident. I got my pairing because it was random pairings to start with, and it is a lovely woman by the name of Alice. She is a contributor to Goonhammer, so please go check them out. I'm going to be putting a lot of links and shit in this description because let me tell you, it was great. There was a lot of Age of Sigmar personalities that came out. And Jack, he brought his LRL. He went out having a great time too. But let's go here. First battle plan, the Blade's Edge. The nice 6 objectives. The second battle round, whoever goes second, you start pulling them. And Alice brought Mortis Praetorian Ossiarch Bone Reapers. And that had Archon the Black, Catacross, 2 units of 40 more attack, unit of 5 Cavalos Death Riders, the lovely Gothazar Harvester. There's a Catapult. She had one of the endless spells too. Solid list, lots of healing, lots of tankiness. It's the go-to pick after the Petrifex Elite nerf. And she took first turn, and I was a little bit worried, but you know what? OBR is slow. The Catapult, I was able to shrug off the damage there. And when it was my turn, I did my Living City healing. I came on from the table edge. My Fulminators, they were ready. They were good. That with my Hurricanum actually shot Archon dead. And I'm like, oh, I was not expecting this to happen. I thought I'd have to come in and charge him. I got nervous. And he died. We each scored 3 points each the first round. Then we kept going. I believe she took the next turn. I got rid of one of her points. Then I eventually doubled, and it was a great time. Came out with a major victory. I scored all of my secondaries, denied hers, all of hers. So I got a perfect score for the round, and I was one of 2 people to score perfectly in the round. And it's Swiss pairings in these tournaments. So winners play winners, and you play like scores to try to break stuff up. So your boy... I got on the top table. I went from like table like 40 in the nosebleeds to I got the prime time spot. And that goes into game 2 here. Because that was a lovely Jacob Berry from the Rage of Sigmar podcast, who, contrary to popular belief, is actually a very sweet guy. He just plays an asshole online and on his show, and whenever you talked... Anyway, great guy, great guy. He actually gave me this lovely 9-inch measuring stick, too. No, we talked, we laughed, we made all kinds of jokes. He kicked my ass. It was great, because this was total conquest. I've actually won a tournament off of this battle plan, and I was ready. I knew my stuff. He was playing Daughters of Cain Celebrimbor, -1 to hit and shooting, and I have my Hurricanum for +1 to hit. I've practiced this matchup before with friends of mine. He deployed Funky, where I knew that if I got my moving shot off with my Fulminators, I just had to kill 10 Witch Elves. With my 2-inch reach on my Fulminators and a relatively short charge, I could get past his secondary screen and kill bow snakes, while also killing a unit of 10 harpies. And if it worked, which, I don't know, 15 out of 20 games it's worked, I win top of turn 1 because, surprise, I'm 11 drops and he's like 3, maybe 6. You know, I have a very good shot at this. And I'm like, you know what? We're going to go big or go home. We're going to Alpha Strike. I have videos on this. And I don't know if y'all have seen that. It might be in a card somewhere, but I don't build armies to Alpha Strike. So the same firepower that the game before killed Archon the Black, Catacross, 60 Mortec, killed 6 Witch Elves. Happens. You know, there was some... the minuses to hit and play, that didn't even matter when you roll 1s to hit. And also, if any of you known me from the internet before, my joke about me is, you know, John can win any game as long as he rolls average. I kept the points close. I did all right on a secondary. I was kind of a schmuck and threw away my Phoenix because the secondary I didn't score was prize possession. I rolled 5 1s in a row on my last few after saves, and the bird coming back. And Jacob Berry, what a doll. I got a sticker from Rage of Sigmar, and he also gives out dice. He's like, yeah, use it as like a free reroll against me. If you use it, you got to give the dice to whoever you play as your next opponent. I'm like, cool. And I wasn't going to use it. I was going to keep it because it was really cool. He was going to give me extra, so I was going to spread the love anyway. And I'm like, you know what? Screw it. Screw it. We're going to go. I'm going to roll, and when I roll my Witness to Destiny saves for my Phoenix stuff, I do it's a joke off of Mad Max with the witness me! And I witnessed his death as he rolled a 1. Happens. It was very funny. Great guy. Love him to death. Real sensitive. Tender. And then we're going to go on to game number 3 here. We're 1-1 right now, Rocco. All right. You know, the 3-2 dream is alive. We're a little worried. And I got punted off of table 1. I think I ended up at table 12. We dropped like a rock. So now this third game was against a nice gentleman named Corey. He's out of Boston, helps run a game store, runs a lot of tournaments out there. Great guy. Legion of the First Prince, brand new Bellacore. I have not had a game against it. I had another buddy tell me what he does. I always jokingly call Bellacore B-Lacquer because it always feels like you're playing around the one ability, and if you can get around it, you're okay. But you know what? He also brought 50 Plague Bearers. He brought 12 Kadai Fireborn. The list was great. All it was resiliency. And the mission we played was shifting objectives. So let me tell you how this went. He took turn 1, moved up and tapped the points. 7 points, nice and easy. My turn 1, I moved up and took all the points back from him. 7-7. Some nice light killing on both sides here. He had a Corn Demon Prince that was a little worrisome for combat. I was worried if he was going to use Blood Slick Ground, the command ability there. He had one of the Vermin Lords, the extra killy version, with like a bajillion attacks. And those Kadai was holding in the center of his line, being really smart with it, holding in reserve, waiting for me to pop out of my reserve. Because, you know, my game plan is I have the Hurricanum, I've got the Fulminators, and I've got some shooting in reserve to come out and say, gotcha. And I've got a Knight-Incantor with an auto unbind, and I got a Runelord named Ugni who's here to hunt spells and take names, and he's all out of names to take, so he's going to hunt all the spells at a +2 Unbind and Dispel. So, you know, I'm magic defensive. I don't need to rely on my own magic to do what I need to do, and I buy a command point in my list so I can move, even if I run into Lumineth, or if there's a Catacross stealing your command points. You know, I got plans for this, and priority for turn 2 comes around. We got all these plans, and I was way too aggressive in the game 2 there. Again, the Alpha Strike thing. I'm a Beta Strike army. I'm like, you know what? I am going to give you the turn because I want a deep, in my mind, I want a deep strike. I want you to come a little bit closer to make sure I can land this sucker and I can kill all your Kadai and move on. I'm like, I want a late game double turn. Yeah. So what happened was he scored 7 points. His Kadai came in like a wrecking ball, killed a unit of my Phoenix Guard, and he made my bird stupid on my turn. He was very scared of that, and if I had known, I told him 3 damage on the charge. He has them himself, the Fulminators. He was threatened because my bird was in a central position near Bellicor, and it freed me up, so I never have to worry about it for my Fulminators. In the next couple turns, and I killed a lot, because you know what? My deep striking thing that killed Archon, killed Catacross, they killed the 12 Kadai. Straight I think I killed like 8 or 9, and the other ones fled to Battle Shock. It was great. It was fantastic. I don't win on kill points, though. You win on objectives. If I had another battle round, maybe, but the math went out of the way really bad. And you know what? It happens. You know, I couldn't shift them. Couldn't shift 30 Plague Bearers. And that's okay. You know, 1 and 2, Shaman was a little rough for me, but I knew that day 2, I was going to Submarine, because I was going to be in Ghyran, baby. Home field advantage. Coming at you hot here. And man, let me tell you, I ended up getting, because no pressure anymore, except that I said I wanted 3 and 2, but everyone was like, oh yeah, Rocco's going to win this. I'm like, no, I wasn't. No, the 3-2 dream's alive, though, folks. All right, and here we go. Looking at my, because you could you look at the roster, and it's like whoever's number 1 gets paired with number 2, and you go down. I'm like, okay, I'm getting Flesh Eater Courts. I'm getting this gentleman named Robert here, and we don't know what the scenario is yet, but he has Blister Skin. He's got all the Flayers. He's got a Terrorgeist, really classic build. He's got the Flayer hero, and he's just going to come at me, and we get the battle plan because it's speed. He's running, flying, and charging. He's got extra movement. The battle plan is knife to the heart. And now let's go over with what Ghyran does. Ghyran, all the terrain is healing. You spend a command point, you get to cast the Realm spell for free, even if you're not a wizard. And the Realm spell is Shield of Thorns, where if an enemy ends a charged move within 3 inches of you, you do D3 mortal wounds to him. That's nice. Knife to the heart, though, in a tournament it really is a knife fight, because it's anyone makes one small move, you're done. This late in the tournament, you're going to see people try to make these big swingy plays to go for gold, usually backfire, and then you're lucky if you get a draw. Because we're already playing with all these auxiliaries, though, we have room for tiebreakers, but there were some true draws in this round. And, you know, he gave me first turn, he came up with his Flayers, he came up with the Terrorgeist, and I left poor little Ugni and my Knight-Incantor off to the side to try to get the Terrorgeist to go after them and not stay with the big death blob of, I think it was like 9 Flayers and the hero, and then he summoned in more Flayers, and he also summoned 20 ghouls to hold his point. That's great, that's fine, we're good. I need to kill those Flayers in the middle of the board, though, and I have on my Knight-Incantor the spell from Living City that halves your movement. When you move, you take d6 mortals, and that will nerf the Terrorgeist, so he won't be effective for any of the game. And he took the bait. I did my spell. Ugni died valiantly. The Knight-Incantor eventually got jumped and blew herself up for some mortal wounds. And, you know, we had a good time there while she pinned him down for a bit. But my real fight was the Fulminators coming into the Crypt Flayer hero and the big block of Flayers in the middle. And it was 2 units of 6 at that point, because I shot 3 dead. I charged, killed the hero, killed more flayers in combat, but then I had to split my attacks with my Fulminators, and I overkilled the Flayer hero, and then I was hitting on 2s because I got the buff from the Hurricanum, and wouldn't you know it, I rolled 5 1s out of the 6 attacks I put into the remaining Flayers. The plus side is now I've dealt with the Terrorgeist. My Phoenix, MVP of the round. He finished off the Terrorgeist. He did the Wake of Fire for 5 mortals, finished him in combat. The Fulminators died horrifically, and it was down to the Phoenix Guard. I had 2 units of 10 on my home objective, holding down the fort, and the Phoenix made them Battle Shock immune, and it was a bend, don't break scenario, and my Phoenix Guard killed all the Flayers. We went on a rampage. My Hurricanum and some of my Freeguilders that I came in from off the board shot dead his general, which was my secondary there, was to kill him, and also to... I believe it was kill all his no, it was the aggressor. I had to be in his territory, more guys in his territory than he was in mine. Did it, and then it came down to could I kill 2 final flayers that he was trying to run away with, so he could score his secondary, and then we'd have a straight tie. And my bird did 5 mortal wounds on the flyby because he's full health, moving 16 inches. And I used Captain of the Phoenix Guard. I rerolled ones to my hits. I did crazy shit for what I could. And he did it. Prince Beleg the Bold won the game for us. 2-2. The 3-2 dream is alive. We take the minor win because it's still a win. We never said it was majors. We're just trying to get out here. I'm just trying to feel good about Ghyran. Home field advantage, man. I'm fighting for my city 10 trees behind me. Let's go. And it was such a fun game. Both our armies were decimated. It was all the dice were even throughout. I'd whiff, he'd whiff. I killed a bunch of shit on one side. He killed a bunch of shit on the other. It was fantastic. The games just kept getting better and better. And then we get to game 5. And I draw a gentleman named Noah. And he was playing Beast of Chaos. And... So I'm an old Wood Elf player from way back in fantasy, and I always loved the matchup with Beast of Chaos. And I in this build that I have, I didn't bring any Wanderers, but I play it as if they were. With my Deep Striking coming out, all the shooting I do, the crazy cavalry being like the old Wild Riders back in the day. Now they're a little meh, but you know it's the thematic bit of this, and we both have this similar enough with our deep striking. He brings all the summoning too, and the battle plan we get is focal points. Monsters and behemoths count for extra scoring, and it was just a brawl. We and at first we're like, you know what, we're playing on table. I think it was like 23 out of. We don't need to know the number. So we're like, you know, if we go to time, it's whatever. We had to start a little late. Whoever played before us didn't pick up their armies. So like, oh, you know, it's whatever. And all of my games finished before time, and we had a 2.5-hour round each time. So I was getting turn 4s and 5s. Games were decided. And this game, again, we finished it in battle round 3. We ended up getting a clear winner at the end of it. And what I did here is because it took Noah, who's a great guy, he's out in Virginia, and me being in DC, we're probably gonna end up going to some tournaments down here eventually. Now, what I did with my deep striking, in my free guild, they sold their lives, man. Every inch of ground they gave up, they were killing Bulgor. He had a unit of 9 Bulgor, a unit of 6 Bulgor. He took the battalion for exploding 6s to hit. He had the trait where they get +1 to charge with their drummers, and they could deep strike. It was a whole thing. Now, my strategy when I play against that army, and I've played against it before, is I need to deny, because playing the same kind of thing too, I know that I need to deny space from where he's coming in from deep strike. I know he's a good enough player that I am never going to be able to come up in his deployment zone, so I'm not planning for that at all. I want to lure him in close enough so that my Fulminators, being 6 inches from the board and have a range of 12, can go and shoot whatever they need to do and then move up, and then I can contest the middle of the board. I need to go and protect my Hurricanum so it can score me bonus points. I need to protect my bird so it can score me bonus points. He only has the one monster behemoth in the in a Gorgon he brought. So it was a whole thing. where we traded blows. We screened each other out very well. I used my deep striking actually as extra screens. So I'd like move guys up, and then I'd bring in guys to hold the line. My handgunners shot a Bulgor dead in their shooting phase, and then they got charged and shot another Bulgor dead. We slowly were dwindling them down. There was a unit of 20 Bestigor going on. I had to take them out with Phoenix Guard. The bird was flying everywhere. My secondaries were kill 3 units in a turn and make 2 battle shocks happen. And most of his stuff was like bravery 4 or 5. So that I did that I think on my first turn. And I was able to deny him one of his secondaries. And it came down to it came down to I was at the bottom of the turn. Could I score 6 points and tie the game so I won the minor victory? And it came down to Fulminators again, because they came in, they shot a spawn dead, they charged up, killed a Gorgon, I shot dead a Doombull with a bunch of mortal wounds from a bunch of things. And he was able to, because they came out turn 1, but it took him 3 turns to even get to one of my objectives, the remaining Bulgor from that unit of 9. And when it was my turn, I turned around, I was like, all right, Fulminator, we're going to go, we're going to charge him, we're going to get him. Because it ended up being like a math test. Like, okay, we're both doing addition, and like, okay, if I go here, if I go there, my camera's out of focus. So forgive me for that, folks, because I'm moving around. And what ended up happening is the Fulminator's mortal wounds popped off so hard, I didn't even need to make the charge because I outnumbered him on the objective. And your boy ended 3-2. We did it, ladies and gentlemen. We did the dream. We did what we came out and set out to do. And we had fun doing it. It was great. It was a great tournament. It was a 70-something person event. It was nice seeing all those people, being around everybody. Everybody was vaccinated. The hotel was fantastic. And now, not to be anticlimactic, but now we're going to go on to Rocco, your girl's fun fact, and then come back with a little closing about the tournament here.
Hey everyone, I'm Rocco, your girl, with your fun fact of the week. Did you know for 3.0, GW changed the mysterious terrain table again? Now we have just 6, and they are damned, arcane, inspiring, deadly, sinister, and mystical. These changes can be found for free online with the new core rules for 3.0. And now, back to Rocco, your boy.
Thank you, Rocco, you girl, with that very fun fact about the new 3rd edition. Since the rule set for that dropped by the time this video probably goes out yesterday. It's actually really cool, and you'll be seeing more 3rd edition stuff on the channel as I learn it, because I'm associated with Rerolling Ones. I don't have an NDA with Games Workshop. I don't get stuff early. My own personal YouTube channel's too small for that. With me and my wife here. I also want to give some lovely shout outs to partners at War. I met the whole family came out to the tournament. As always, the Basement Wargamers, my gaming club from Pennsylvania that I played with. I repped them during the game. I wore a lot of everybody else's logos but mine. I had a Mr. Mephisto sticker, a Rage of Sigmar podcast sticker. We were all over the place. It actually was funny too, because I was wearing all that stuff the first day, and then the second day I'm like, I'll just wear my normal shit. And then I won the games. So I'm superstitious, so I'm probably gonna just stick to wearing like my New York Mets crap and go. And there's so many other people I want to shout out. Thank you, Martin Orlando and Frontline Gaming, for throwing such an amazing event, and Martin Orlando's family that helped him run it. They're all very nice, wonderful people. It was such a fun time, such a great experience. It was nice seeing a bunch of people that I've only talked to on maybe Twitter or Discord, and actually see them and meet them in person. People that I've gotten to know for the last year because of COVID, because we all went to online to get any kind of human interaction, and see me in person, eating, drinking, laughing. It was great. And, as we're coming out of all these lockdowns and everything's starting to come back to normal, I hope you can get out there to events in your local areas. You can do some of these big, more national type of events here and, go roll some dice and have some fun. So with that, next time class will be in session and hopefully it's normal date and time. And as I like to say, class dismissed.